guys, welcome back to Networkers Home YouTube channel. And today in this video, we are going to see about the directory structure of Linux. Okay, so if we talk about Linux, in Linux operating system, everything is a file. Even directories are files, even your files are files, and your devices like your mouse, keyboard, printer, etc. are all also files. Okay, so today we are going to see the directory structure in Linux. Okay. So if we talk about the base of your Linux system, okay, the beginning of your directory structure. So the base of your Linux system begins at the root, okay, and everything starts with the root directory. So what is the root directory? If we discuss about the root directory, so the slash, this slash is known as the root directory. This is your, you can say, the root. Your slash is the root. Then inside the slash, you are going to see some directories like slash bin, boot, dev, etc, home, lib, media, mnt, opt, proc, root, run, sbin, srv, sys, tmp, usr, var. These kind of directories you are going to see inside the slash. Okay. So today we'll see what is the significance of all these particular directories. Okay. And what are the different or what are the files that are stored in these particular directories. Okay, because for understanding Linux, this is very important. Okay, we must know that what kind of files are located in which particular directory. Okay, whenever we are doing some sort of configuration, whenever, let's say if you are working on some server, or if you want to change some particular type of configuration, then you must be aware that where that particular file is available. Okay, so today we'll be learning about the directory structure, and we'll see in which directory what kind of files are stored. Okay, so first of all, the first directory we'll see is the bin directory. Okay, so basically this bin stands for binary or user binaries, you can say. So it is going to store the binaries or user binaries, or you can say your executable programs. Okay, basically you can say these are the, it is going to store the commands that your standard users or the users can execute on the Linux system. Okay, it is going to store the commands. Then next we have slash boot. So with the name itself, it suggests that your boot directory, your slash boot directory, it is going to store all the booting files, means the files that are related to the boot. So I can say it contains all the files that are related to the boot related information. Okay, the files, or let me say files that contain boot related information. Okay, so what kind of boot files will be stored? Such as your grub. Your grub is a bootloader. So the configuration files related to the grub, they will be available in the slash boot. Okay. Then after we have slash dale. So this is basically the location of your device files. Okay. It is going to store your device files. So what are the device files? Let's say you have connected a hard disk, and in the hard disk, there are certain partitions. Okay, so all those files related to the devices and partitions, they will be available in the dev. For example, whenever you will be mounting a particular partition in the system, so you might want to use the name such as slash dev slash sda or sda1, okay, or slash dev slash sda2, okay, etc. So these kind of things or these kind of files will be available in the slash dev. So these are basically the files related to the devices. Let's say hard disk you have connected, CD, DVD you have connected. So those will be given with the slash dev. Then next we have is your etc. So what is etc? It is going to store your all the configuration files. Your etc is going to store system configuration file. It is going to store your system configuration files. Then we have slash home. So this is basically the home directory. And if I be specific, this is the home directory for standard users. By default, home directory for standard users. Means whenever you are going to create a new user, by default, the home directory of that particular user will be in the slash home. So this is the default home directory for standard users. Okay, so if you create a user let's say you create a user with the name admin. So that particular user will have its own home directory in that folder /home or in the directory /home. So that will be given as /home/admin. Okay. Then we have lib. So what is lib? It is going to store all your kernel modules, and it is a shared library. So this is going to store all your kernel modules. So you can say it contains kernel modules, and it is a shared library. A shared library. Okay. Then we have the media. So the media basically contain the subdirectories where your removable devices are inserted. Means whenever you insert a removable device, then their subdirectories, they will be mounted under the media. Okay, so let's say if I'm connecting a CD DVD, by default it will be mounted in the media. So you can say here that it contains the subdirectories where removable media devices are inserted. Okay. All right. Then next we have MNT. So the MNT, basically it is going to contain a temporary mount point. Means if you want to use a particular drive or a particular device for some time, then you can mount that particular directory in the /MNT, or that particular partition in the or file system in the MNT. So this is a temporary mount point. Your MNT is a temporary mount point for mounting the file system. Temporary mount point for mounting file systems. Okay. Next we have OPT. So this particular opt directory, this is going to store all your optional, or you can say third-party softwares. Okay. It's going to store optional or third-party software. Okay. Then we have proc. So your proc directory, you can say it contains the information about the running processes. Okay. Your proc has the process related information. So it is going to store information about the running processes. So you can say contains information about the running processes. Okay. Then we have the root. So this /root, this is the home directory of your root user or your admin user. In your Linux system, the admin user is known as with the name root. Okay. So the default home directory for your root user is /root. So I'll say this is the root directory, or this is the home directory for the root user. Home directory for the root user, or you can say super user. Then we have run. So your run will store the volatile runtime data. Okay. Stores the volatile runtime data. Okay. Then we have the sbin. So your bin/bin, it is the binary. It is going to store the binary or executable programs. So this /bin is going to store the programs that can be executed by your standard users. And your sbin, it is, you can say, super user binaries. Okay. You can say here super user binaries. So what is it? It is going to store the binaries, or you can say programs that can be executed, or let me simply say programs for an administrator. Okay, means it is going to store the software programs or executable programs that can be executed only by your administrator. Okay, standard users will not be able to execute these particular programs. Then we have the SRV. So your SRV is going to store the server specific or server related files. Okay, it is going to store server specific or server related files. Means in the server, if you are installing certain services, okay, so the files related to that services, they will be stored in the SRV. Then we have sys. So it is going to store the information about the system processes. Okay, means basically you'll say that it is a virtual file system for modern Linux distributions. Okay, it is a virtual file system, and it is going to store and allow the modification of the devices connected to the systems. So it is a simple, you can say, virtual file system to store and allow modification, of connected devices. So I'll say connected devices. Okay, that means in short, connected devices. Okay, then we have temp. So what your temp is going to do, it is going to store the temporary files. Okay, this is going to store temporary files. It is going to store temporary files, and this is generally cleared. So you can say typically cleared. Whenever you reboot a system, your temporary files will be cleared. Temporarily cleared on reboot. Then we have /usr. So your /usr, it is going to store user related programs. Okay, and also it is going to store the manuals. It is going to store user related programs and user manuals. Okay, and then we have the last directory, that is var. So this is going to store variable files, means the files that are going to change with time. Okay, so for example, your log files, they continuously change over time. Also your mail files. Okay, so these kind of files that change over time, they will be stored in the /var directory. Okay, so these are the common directories in the Linux file system. And I hope now it is clear that which particular directory is used for what kind of files, or what kind of files you are going to find in a particular type of directories. Okay, because this particular Linux directory structure, it is very useful when we are working in the Linux system. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, and this is all for this video, guys. If you like the video, if you feel this video was helpful, so please do like the video and subscribe to the Networkers from YouTube channel. If you have any suggestions, or if you want me to discuss any particular type of topic in the Linux, then please drop that in the comment section. Okay, and I'll be coming up with a video. So this was all for this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.